Nation, to this latest edition of the Sports Nerd Show. We are a collection of sports nerds whose mission is to bring you as much sports talk as time allows over the next 60 minutes. Although we will strive to be highly informative and equally as entertaining over the next hour, we must warn you that there may be some cuss words along the way. But we don't give a damn, because that is the way most humans in the real world tend to talk, and we, the sports nerds, are no exception. So without further ado, Nerd Nation, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as I present to you the founder and host of this crazy-ass show, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright, coming to you from Lakeland, Florida, and along with my co-host tonight, the producer, Elliot Biggie Lamba. Ken is not here, but he's here in spirit. And, of course, Mr. Professor Wayne Lynch. We will discuss the top stories of the day and, at times, the not-so-top stories. So buckle up, grab a beverage, and enjoy. We are live Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And if you missed the live broadcast, you can watch the replays on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via Peak D. Gentlemen, happy Thursday. We got a game tonight, New England and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers starts his first game of the season in FedEx Field. And let's pray to God he does not tear another Achilles after 4 snaps.
No doubt.
It won't happen. Leonard Floyd's in San Francisco,
yeah. He can get away with it this week.
So,
and I don't think New England has that kind of pass rush.
No,
they don't. I mean, you know what? I mean, I am so not excited about this game tonight because it's two teams that just are going to be terrible this year. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers says.
I don't think the Jets are going to be terrible. You have to understand that Aaron Rodgers is only on his second game back.
Yep.
He got better.
1-1. They did win last week.
He got better from the first game to the second game. He's got a receiver by the name of Mike Williams that's on a pitch count right now.
Yep.
Who's going to eventually evolve into 1A with 1A, 1B with Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
Okay. So don't cry. Don't cry over spilled
milk. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Don't cry for New England because they're going to be bad.
Well, what you said about the Jets winning last week, I still contend that Tennessee lost.
well, Tennessee loses every game.
Well, thanks to Will Levis, they lost. Yes.
Yeah.
The hell was that lateral shit he threw?
Thanks to Will Levis, they lost twice.
What an ass! What a dumbass! And you know what? What's great is his head coach was pissed at him. He was pissed at him on the sidelines. He called him out during his press conference after the game. You know, he pretty much just took him out to the woodshed and whipped his ass.
Does it feel like Bryce Young is starting to look like an answer in Tennessee?
Bryce Young.
No.
Guys, no.
Have you ever heard the phrase frying pan to the fire?
Right.
Oh, trust me, I was being facetious when I said that.
Bryce Young needs to go somewhere where he can sit down and learn.
Yep.
Okay. And not be under the pressure that Carolina put him in the moment they drafted him.
Well, the problem with Carolina is its front office. They just, I mean, for whatever reason, I mean, guys, Frank Reich is a great head coach, but they freaking got rid of him. You know why I think it is?
And Dave Tepper is a terrible owner.
I was going to say he probably butted heads with David Tepper, and Tepper took it and said, "Get the hell out," being a dumbass.
Well,
Tepper
remember,
is one of the worst owners in the NFL.
He got bitch ass sensitive and fired the guy.
Yeah. Well, remember Frank Wright, from what I understand, he wanted C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
He did not want to be on. He was not on board with getting Bryce Young. So that's another reason why Tepper, with his temperamental self, let him go.
Little bitch.
Yeah, he is. He's a Tepper little bitch.
Elliot, I want to say, welcome back to Twitter.
Welcome back to Twitter.
Yes, I've been seeing your tweeting, your politics tweets. I'm enjoying them.
I've been back for a while.
Well, but I've only seen you come back and be
You
present.
mean work?
You
You
mean
mean welcome back to Twitter during these political times?
yes, absolutely.
That's more accurate.
Yeah.
I don't retweet anything but anything that has to slay Trump,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, everything we can do to slay Trump is a good thing, and I don't care if anybody sees that or not. I hate the
I
motherfucker.
don't care what anybody has to say.
No, I don't care. And
They probably don't care what I got to say about Trump.
exactly. So with the Jets and Patriots tonight, let's look at the schedule for. First of all, we got. Or is it? Hang on a second. Give me a second.
Schedule of what?
Well, this weekend schedule.
Oh, the upcoming
okay.
schedule.
Yeah, I got it right here.
The games I'm looking at are Houston, Minnesota. That's going to be a good one.
That'll be interesting.
It's in Minnesota.
Well,
Philadelphia
we could go one by one.
Yep.
Philadelphia, New Orleans. That's
Instead
also
of you
gonna be one.
rattling off the damn roster in one fell swoop.
What about that Chargers Pittsburgh? It's in Pittsburgh. What do you guys think about that game?
Okay, so that's the first one on the
The first one we're going with.
That's going to depend because I'm hearing Justin Herbert is having some.
He's got a foot issue. Yes.
Yeah. If Easton Stick is the quarterback, the Steelers are going 3-0 this weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if Easton Stick is the quarterback, you might as well go ahead and stick a nail on him.
You know what's funny? His name Easton Stick. You know they make softball bats, and the company's name is Easton.
Yeah.
It's Easton.
Yeah.
So he's a softball bat. Easton Stick.
No, he's not that hard.
I said soft.
Well, and Easton they don't do wood bats. They make metal bats. They
do aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do aluminum. That ding you hear during college and Little League World Series is Easton.
And why is that? Why is it that they use aluminum?
Because
there's so many broken bats in college.
Because they can't afford to replace broken bats.
Yeah, can't afford to replace them. Maybe so many broken bats, it'd be ridiculous.
Exactly.
So
anyway, I mean, look, at this point in time, you've been hearing Mike Tomlin. He's like, I'm not going to tell you guys one way or the other what's going on. My depth chart is still the same. Russell Wilson, QB1, Justin Fields, QB2.
Yep.
And I'm not going to change course on any of that until Russell's healthy. And then at that point, we'll determine,
Yep.
We'll see how they go in practice.
Yep.
And this is going to be kind of like playing for the job again. So
yeah, I mean,
do you really want a guy that's going to throw for 150 yards?
well, my question is going to be the question is, do the Steelers treat this like a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady thing, or is it going to be something different?
Well, first of all, Justin Fields is no Tom Brady.
No, he's not. I agree.
And Russell Wilson
is no Drew Bledsoe, that's for sure.
And Russell Wilson is probably better than Drew Bledsoe.
Which isn't saying much, but that's okay. Go ahead.
That's okay. But no, I just think this is a situation where you have to think long term. In the short term, Justin Fields is doing his job.
Yep.
He's being conservative. He's not doing anything out of the scope of what they want him to do.
Right.
That's great. But the only way that works is if the Pittsburgh defense shuts people down every single week for 17 weeks. And that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going against the Chargers, and I guess Jim Harbaugh has really instilled confidence in that team with their first two wins. They're both 2-0.
How much instilling is he going to do if Justin Herbert can't play?
It's weird. You know what?
But regardless,
Harbaugh just being there, and it's not Brandon Staley making 4th and 2 calls from his own 26-yard line. That's situation enough.
yeah. So, I mean, look, if you're gonna tell me long term, I would probably reconsider and put Russell Wilson in because he's definitely gonna put more yards on the board. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Fields has played well the last first 2 weeks. He's played very well the first 2 weeks.
No. He's played within the framework of what the offensive coordinator has put in front of him.
Okay.
That is not sustainable.
You're saying that they have wider options with Russell Wilson as opposed to Justin Fields?
Well, Russell Wilson has more accuracy downfield than Justin Fields. He may not have the footwork that Justin Fields has, but he's been known to move those feet pretty well in situations. Okay. And the experience factor is just way too big between the two to not consider it. Like I said, you're going to get 150, maybe, and on some good games, 200 yards from Justin Fields in the air.
Okay.
Their running game is nothing to write home about.
Nope.
Okay. And they don't really have any real top-notch receivers either, which is probably why they're keeping him from throwing the ball.
Well, you know, I mean, Kenny Pickett is their number one receiver at this point. So
You mean George Pickens?
George Pickens? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Pickens.
Kenny Pickett's a white guy that plays quarterback.
Anyway,
Anyway.
George Pickens is their number one receiver.
And that's all fine and dandy, but I don't think that Justin Fields is the guy that's going to bring out the best in George Pickens. Okay.
Yeah.
If I got to put my money on it, like I said, if you want to go 17 games with Justin Fields, you better hope your defense holds people to 10 points a game.
They better be ranked number 1 on every category on defense.
On defense. And 30th on offense. And in the end, that doesn't get you anything but a 9-8 record.
Very true. Very true. Of course, you guys and I are all in agreement that the Steelers, despite their 2-0 start, will end up being last place in that division.
I mean, how impressed are we with the 2-0 start, really?
Not really. Not really.
Exactly.
Regarding Pittsburgh, not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. They played Atlanta the first week.
Yeah.
And then they beat who they beat this week. Who'd they beat this week, guys? Come on. My memory sucks.
Pittsburgh, they beat Denver.
Denver. All right. So you've got Atlanta and Denver. Atlanta was
Remember, I only knew that because they gave Russell Wilson the game ball.
right. Okay. Atlanta's the better of the two teams, but you know what? Kirk Cousins did not look comfortable. He wasn't in his groove. So I think
it was his first game action since the torn Achilles.
right. And
as far as regular season
if
action.
the Kirk Cousins that showed up this past week was in there the first week, they would have beat Pittsburgh.
But here's the thing: for Kirk Cousins to go up against a Pittsburgh defense his first game back, you really can't have high expectations there.
No, you can't.
But you know what I'm saying? But he did bounce back this week and pulled off something that nobody thought he could.
Yeah, but then again,
You saw
these quarterbacks are trash.
you
Their
saw
whole
the
defensive backfield is trash.
You saw the Kirk Cousins pre-injury this past Monday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now comes the real test for him. One up against the Chiefs. We'll talk about that later. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, no. I mean, right now, if Herbert plays, I believe the Chargers win. In a close one.
You know what? I can just feel it in my bones that Jim Harbaugh hates the Steelers.
Well, yeah, because he lost to them in the playoffs many moons ago.
Yes.
On that Hail Mary.
That Hail Mary. At the end.
Almost got caught.
He almost got it. Yes.
Almost.
Yeah. He has a big hate streak for Pittsburgh back to his playing days. So It's going to be interesting. That game's going to be really good. And I certainly hope the Chargers win that freaking game to shut people up. God, I hate Pittsburgh fans. Anyway,
I'm sure they say the same about you.
yeah, they do. They do. Here's an interesting game: Detroit and Arizona.
That wasn't the next one.
No, I know that, but that's the one I
The
picked.
next one was Houston and Minnesota.
Well, that's the one I picked. So,
Who cares what you picked?
okay,
Detroit.
Houston, Minnesota. Okay, both teams 2-0. It's in Minnesota. Despite having, Minnesota.
Isn't this a revenge game for Daniil Hunter this week?
Oh God, that's so. That's like. That's just. That's so vague and out of. No.
Well, why not? He
Why
played
would
for
he?
Minnesota for years.
Right.
They didn't re-sign him, so he
Right.
went to Houston. Now he's going to come back and show them what they missed out on.
We'll see what happens there.
I would say he's gonna have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So
I think he might get a couple sacks on Sam Darnold this week.
that'll be an interesting game. I only give Minnesota the edge because they're playing at home. But other than that, if Houston's defense comes ready to play like they have the first 2 weeks of the season, well, at least the second week of the season, they played Indianapolis the first week, and that was not a gunslinging shootout, but 29-27 is still not a cheap score. So
No, and look, of course, with Minnesota, everything hinges on Justin Jefferson's health. We don't know how that quad.
There was a quad injury he
Yeah.
got last weekend. Yeah.
We don't know where that quad is at the moment. But if he's healthy, you got him. A lot of it is going to depend too on the backfield between Jones and Ty Chandler. They're going to need to try to establish a run game against Houston.
How big of a role is Sam Darnold going to play in this game? He's had very good 2 weeks. He's played very well the first 2 weeks.
I think he'll do all right.
Yeah.
Again, it's all dependent upon Minnesota's run game. If Minnesota can get a run game going, then that's going to bring defenders in from the Texan side.
Yeah.
And that's going to release Justin Jefferson and Addison and whoever else their receivers are
Yep.
downfield. And I think Sam Darnold could capitalize on that.
Sam Darnold had the benefit of being in the Niners system last year, getting coached up by
And
what?
And don't get hyped up with the Houston defense at the moment. They're formidable. Okay.
Right.
But they're not there yet.
They haven't really put anybody to sleep. They haven't really dominated a game yet.
well, they played Indy the first week, and can we really say Chicago has a blazing offense?
I'll tell you
No.
what, if Chicago had Justin Fields, they probably would have beat the Texans this past week. Caleb Williams, I don't know about that dude, man.
He's
He
on the
talked
curve.
a lot of smack. He talked a lot of smack in the preseason. And the only perfect thing about him right now is that he keeps his nails painted.
Yes.
Yep.
That's about it.
Too funny.
Not
Because-
fumble at all.
Because he's completing passes at the same rate Bronny James is making buckets in the NBA.
Oh my God, Elliot! You had to put a James boy into the conversation. The biggest LeBron
One
James hater I
particular
know
James boy.
had to bring in
One
Bronny.
particular James boy. The golden child, the one
The
that got
golden-
the
yeah,
free
you know-
pass.
You know
into
what?
the NBA.
Bronny James is
He's a
he's
gimmick.
shadow of his father. He's got no comparison to his father.
He's a marketing gimmick for LeBron James. That's what I said it.
Well, yeah, and he's been drafted by the Lakers, and we'll see how
Mm-hmm.
that goes anyway. But
And when his dad retires, he won't be in the league very long.
nope.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, let's talk about Philadelphia, New Orleans.
Oh,
It's going to be in
that's
New
an
Orleans.
interesting contrast.
I think New Orleans wins because, like I said a few minutes ago, Philly secondary is straight hot.
Well,
trash.
and it is
Philly
in
can't
New
stop the run
Orleans
game
too.
either.
It is in New
They
Orleans.
got no pass rush.
Nope.
And
I
no
think they're
defensive backfield.
I think they're ranked 31st right now.
I think they're ranked 33rd out of 32 teams.
33rd, really?
Out of 32
Really,
teams, yeah.
They're ranked 33rd out of 32 teams. What?
Yeah.
No. Look, right now Philadelphia be 2-0 if Saquon Barkley catches a freaking pass.
But you know what? Nobody
Okay.
has more drops in the last 3 years than Saquon Barkley and out of the back.
That's fine, but that was with Daniel Jones.
He still has had multiple drops. He really has.
That's fine. But I also question a little question on the play calling. But the way New Orleans offense is clicking right now, the only way that Philly's gonna win this game is if it's a shootout and what's his name? Jalen Hurts plays the type of Jalen Hurts ball he played 2 years ago.
Right.
So, and Saquon Barkley goes off, and the thing with Philadelphia right now is that offense is going to miss AJ Brown.
Until he comes back into the fold. The receiving core is pretty weak.
Yeah.
And also with Philly, you can blame Saquon for dropping the pass, but you can also blame Kellen Moore for giving the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you passing? Why are you passing in that situation?
One thing I just want to backtrack a little, rewind real quick. In Minnesota, what I was gonna say is that Sam Darnold right now is playing well, but he could play better too once TJ Hawkinson comes back.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he doesn't have his tight end.
Yeah, he'll have a all-world tight end.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But he's in a place where
Detroit traded in division to a in division rival. But anyway,
right. But you know, the nice thing the good thing for Sam Darnold is he's in an offense where he's growing, and he's being groomed and is moving in the right direction as far as his growth is concerned.
what I'm most impressed with Minnesota right now is their defense.
yeah,
With Brian Flores as the defense coordinator,
Yep.
they are a crazy bunch over there. You see what they did to 49ers? They were all over them all game long.
Yep.
You know, and if that defense plays like that and the offense gets better, Minnesota could be some in the conversation.
Well, Dan Orlovsky picked him to make the playoffs. Dan Orlovsky picked him to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, Stan Orlovsky's an
yeah, but it's Dan Orlovsky, so
I mean, it's not like he's throwing out of the back end of the end zone anymore. He's a really good analyst. Come on.
yeah, but he's
a clown.
Hot take machine.
He's a what?
Hot take machine.
Oh, he loves hot takes. You're correct. I agree with
He
you.
is a
And
hot
since we're
take.
still in the Philly New Orleans game, Derek Carr got fined for doing the MJ dance in the end zone.
Ha!
Oh, by the way, I wanted to go back to the unsportsmanlike that they called against Drake London.
Yeah, what a bunch of crap that was.
No, you know what? I went back and looked at it.
Yeah.
Okay. He celebrated for quite a bit out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then he came back into the field
And then
did.
came back into the field, and you can't do that.
All right.
You already did your celebrating. Take your ass over to the back of the bench and shut the hell up.
or continue to stay out of bounds and do it.
Yep.
But this is what happens when you're not used to scoring touchdowns. You act a fool. Act like you've been there before. Hello.
Right. I'm with you. It's like Derek. That's what Derek Henry does. He acts like he's been there before.
Well, a lot of guys do. Look, once you do your initial celebration, that should be it. But he went from out of bounds back onto the field.
Yep.
And not only that, but he did it right in front of a referee.
Oh God.
The referee was looking at him like, dude.
He's like, okay, well, if you're going to insist to be stupid, I'm going to throw a flag, and there you go.
I just can't call it flag for stupidity.
No, the only person that celebrated a touchdown with grace that I can remember is Barry Sanders. He scored, just gave the ball back to the referee and called it.
That's the way Barry was, though. He gets in the end zone and doesn't celebrate. He just says, "Okay, I scored." Gives the ball to the referee and walks off.
Yeah, there's guys that are like that.
Yeah. Derek Henry's one.
Like I said, though, that's the actions of somebody that's not used to touching the end zone.
Right.
Okay. They don't know what to do with themselves at that point. You saw it first when he caught the touchdown pass. He grabbed his helmet with two hands, like, "Oh shit, I'm in the end zone."
I'm not familiar with this color of grass.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with a solid color. Where's the line of that? And then that's when he lost his mind and acted a fool.
All right, let's move on. Anything about Denver and Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Destroy them.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. That's pretty much it.
I love you, Baker
Bo
Mayfield.
Nix better hope he don't wind up in Tampa General this weekend.
I love you, Baker Mayfield. Anyway, next up, Green Bay, Tennessee.
So
It's in
does Tom
Tennessee.
Moore. So does Tom Moore.
Yeah.
Tom Moore was on Pat McAfee, the coach.
Yeah.
You remember Tom Moore?
Wasn't he the offensive coordinator of the Colts when Peyton was there?
He was.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been in football for 64 years, 50 of them in the NFL.
I mean, that offense that he and Peyton ran back in the 90s was just phenomenal. It really was.
He said this morning, he's like, Baker, I love Baker. I'll go to war with him anytime.
How can you not like Baker? I mean, he's been rejuvenated in Tampa Bay. I mean,
he goes and he even said, look, Peyton, Hall of Famer, this, that, the other. But if he had the abilities of Baker Mayfield to scramble, who knows who Peyton would be.
And my boss, we had a meeting today, and my CEO, who lives in Fort Myers, asked me point blank, "So Scott, would you like to have Baker? Like to trade quarterbacks, bring Baker back to Cleveland, and bring Deshaun down to Tampa?" I said no, because Baker's happy where he is, and number 4 is going to bury himself.
The massage parlors in Tampa ain't done shit to nobody. They don't need Deshaun Watson down
Well,
there.
Tampa is the strip club capital of the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Massage parlors don't have to work.
Del Mabry is. I mean, there's so many strip clubs on Del Mabry. They're thinking about opening up a new zip code. So, but
yeah, I don't see much of it. I see Baker throwing at will.
That Denver defense is so pliable. It needs saran wrap to protect it.
Get what's his name? Godwin and Evans for your fantasy team this weekend if you have a choice.
Yes, Godwin and Evans. Yeah, if you got them on your fantasy team, play them.
Might as well throw Rashad White in there too. Who's their tight end? Cade Otton?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Cade Otton. Yeah.
The next one, Green Bay, Tennessee. Is this going to be anything more than what Green Bay? I mean, Malik.
It's going to be
it's a revenge tour for Malik Willis.
Yes.
It's going to be a revenge game for Malik Willis, and then Jordan Love will be back next week.
So I think Tennessee goes 0-3. I think Green Bay is a better team. Malik Willis proved himself last week, filling in for Jordan Love. So I was the kid.
You saying Green Bay is a better team? It's like, which team isn't better than freaking Tennessee besides Carolina?
Well, when you got Will Levis as your quarterback, any team is better than Tennessee. I'm just saying.
Will Backhand Levis?
Yes. How was that lateral? My God, I'm still flabbergasted by that freaking lateral. I mean, he tripped over his own teammate, and as he was horizontal against the damn turf,
And then the
flips it
week
up.
before, he tries to throw. He tries to throw. Remember when Dan Marino threw behind his back for 40 yards back in the day? He was trying to do a Marino type thing, yo. Didn't quite work.
Do we care about Carolina and Vegas?
Do we care about Carolina and Vegas? Well,
Only if you got-
we
only
might
if you got
if
money
you
on
didn't.
it.
We might if you didn't skip the Giants in Cleveland.
Well, I haven't gotten that far yet. We're still. I mean, they're.
Well, it's the game right after the one we just talked about.
Let's be okay. My apologies, because I am logged into NFL.com under my name.
Oh man!
The Browns are listed early, right behind the tonight's game. Giants, Cleveland.
You got us all over the place.
Giants, Cleveland.
Does that fall in the category of Carolina and Las Vegas?
No.
Wow, only
Maybe.
because it's Cleveland.
Why not?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, it's actually in Cleveland.
Hey, it's going to be a QB battle for the ages. Deshaun Watson versus Daniel Jones.
Well, you can shake your head no, but number 4 is going to win this battle, hands
Number
down.
4. That's all I talk about. Number 4. I told my boss that this today as well. I said, I don't call him by his name. It's number 4, and he just laughed at me.
Unless Amari Cooper starts doing his thing, which he hasn't done the first
Well,
two games.
to be honest, they've been working on that connection in practice this week, so we'll see
Plus,
how it
they
goes.
don't have Njoku.
He's going to be out this week, yes.
Yeah. And the thing is that a lot of the pundits and analysts and all that, okay, they talk about it. Amari Cooper is not a receiver that is made to have Deshaun Watson as his quarterback. Because Deshaun Watson either throws short or mid-range. He's never been a long-range passer.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that hurts Amari Cooper's game because, you know what I'm saying? That's why Jerry Jeudy has actually been playing.
Judy has shined, yes. Judy's is having a good season.
But that's because he runs in the areas where Deshaun Watson,
the medium passing routes. Yes,
Yeah,
I know that.
intermediate passing routes. Yeah.
he runs the routes that Deshaun Watson's comfortable with. Amari Cooper doesn't.
Well, my biggest problem with number 4 is it seems like he's afraid to freaking throw the ball when he gets pressure.
And don't get me started on the thing. Jerome Ford don't look like the guy he was last year.
Right.
Okay. Unless Deontay Foreman steps up and starts running the ball hard.
Well, Deontay Foreman's been through a lot of shit in his life as far as football is concerned. I mean, he has actually been the workhorse with Chubb being out and trying to get back. Chubb's out at least 2 more games. I can't wait to get him back in the lineup. My God. But I think Deshaun. Excuse me. I think number 4 and Cooper,
He almost
as
said
the
it.
season progresses,
did.
will get more and more comfortable with each other, and will end up throwing those passes.
But here's the problem with what you guys are talking about. The problem that I see with what you're talking about is it's the Giants. So Cleveland's still going to win.
Yes.
Regardless of
Well,
everything
the
that
Giants got decent defense.
But who do they have on offense?
Okay.
Daniel Jones is going to throw at least 2
Actually, you
picks
know
this
what?
weekend.
Daniel Jones hasn't done a bad job. He just hasn't done a great job. So,
Here's my prediction. He's going to throw at least two interceptions this weekend.
Devin Singletary's been running well. Malik Neighbors just showed he's an all-world receiver this past game against Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, they still got Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton. They don't really have a formidable tight end, but it's that defense. And I think that defense is good enough to go into Cleveland and win.
I hope they score 50 points on the Giants. Just
Deshaun
to spite you. Just to
Deshaun-
spite you.
Deshaun Watson hasn't scored 50 points in a season since when?
I'm just putting it out there.
Clemson, maybe.
I said I hope. I didn't say it was going to happen.
You better hope they score at least 20. Okay.
I wasn't even going to give them that. I was going to say 17 and call it a day. All right, gentlemen.
You also got to remember too that the Giants
Is the wife home? Is the wife home, Wayne?
Yep, I'll be back shortly.
All right,
You
go
gotta
unload your
remember,
groceries. We'll see you
too,
soon.
that the problem with the Giants last week was they didn't have a kicker to kick extra points.
Did they sign a kicker this week?
Now they might have one, but I'm just saying during that game, they had opportunities to kick extra points. They even had an opportunity to kick a field goal, but they couldn't do it.
And the punter shanked it to the wide right. So yeah,
Well, punter's not a kicker.
yeah.
You know, it's a totally different realm of, but I mean, for your sake, I hope Cleveland wins because
I think they will. I don't
if
think
they
the
lose
Giants.
to the Giants, you might not want to show up for the next.
I don't think the Giants pose any kind of problems for the Browns. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep. The next game I see is Miami Seattle. Is that right?
Yeah, that's in Seattle.
Okay, it's in Seattle. Seattle's 2-0. Miami's 1-1.
Actually, you skipped
no
a couple,
Tua.
but that's fine.
No Tua. It should be a win for Seattle because there's
Skylar Thompson is going to get swarmed on. Seattle will be fine. Metcalf is starting to, and Smith and Jigba are starting to get theirs.
Yep.
Charbonnet is filling in nicely for Kenneth Walker III.
Yep.
They got a kick-ass kicker, Jason Myers.
Yep.
Okay. And that defense, although it's not the Legion of Boom anymore,
But it's pretty stout.
It's
pretty
still
stout.
formidable. It's formidable. Okay. It's formidable.
I foresee Seattle winning this game. And next one up, Detroit at Arizona.
Did we talk Carolina, Vegas, and
Yes, we
Chicago,
did.
Indy?
Yes, we did.
We talked Chicago, Indy?
Where is Chicago, Indy at? Oh, it's way over there. Okay.
We never got to Carolina.
No,
Vegas
we didn't
either.
get to Chicago, Indy. I apologize, Elliot. You're right.
Next time, get on ESPN. Yeah.
Yes, love. I'm actually on NFL.com. I'm actually on NFL.com, which is
That's the problem.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I don't have much fondness for NFL.com since for whatever reason I'm never able to get on there. My old account, I can't even changing password, and I can't sign up for the NFL Premium or whatever plus Premium. I can't do none of that shit. So fuck you, NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
All right, let me take a look and see what we got here. If we're gonna go with the NFL,
Chicago, Indianapolis.
Chicago, Indy. There it is.
Indianapolis.
There he's back. That was quick, Wayne. Was there not as much groceries as you thought there was going to be, or what's going with that?
Oh no, it was a bunch. But
did you use one trip like I told you? Did you use one?
Just in the green room?
He's got a routine. He's got it down.
One trip. Wayne's the best. Go.
There you go.
So Indy and Chicago. Let me ask you guys. I mean, wait, hold it.
Caleb Williams versus Anthony Richardson.
Gentlemen, if his video camera is working, I give you the one and only Derek Laughlin.
Derek!
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Where's your camera, Derek?
I'm working on it. I thought it's there. There we go.
There it is. Hey! How you doing, bud?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to see you on the show tonight.
Talking a little feet ball here.
Talking week 3 in the NFL.
Have you been talking about how the deep high safeties have been ruining the NFL?
What is up with Mel Kiper?
Mad, you mean Mad Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper needs to stick to the freaking draft.
No, it was Mad Mel Kiper. It's that guy Ty Schmidt that plays Mel Kiper on Pat McAfee.
Yeah, he was reacting to a segment that Mel Kiper did on Get Up.
Huh?
Luckily for my sanity, I don't watch Get Up. I can't. Number one, I can't stand the voice of Mike Greenberg. I can't stand it. He just, oh my God, he just drives me nuts.
I kind of like Greeny now.
I hate Greeny.
They were both trending.
That's fine. He probably feels the same way about you.
He doesn't know me. Who cares?
And he definitely has more money than you.
Well, yeah. He's got a hot wife and 2 great kids.
And Chuck Pagano and Tom Moore put Mad Mel in his place. I let him know what the hell are you talking about? They've been playing too high for friggin' 100 years now.
Well, I was looking at some of the stats from when he was talking about, like, if you go back and look at like a team like the '59 Colts, even though Johnny
The
Unitas,
59 Colts, really?
he was talking about that. He grew up watching Unitas and Daryl LaMonica and all these great offenses in the '60s that had
And all these
vertical
guys
passing.
are dead right now. Who cares?
But you go and look, like, even that team that led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns, they threw the ball about 45% of the time and ran it 55% of the time. And the reason the deep pass was there is that's all teams did. It was before the West Coast offense. You either ran the ball up the middle or used play action and attacked the ball deep. It was a completely different game, where now, I mean, teams average the other way around. They throw 50 to 60% of the time, and they're throwing to the running backs, the tight ends, and teams have to make different decisions. But that's not what's ruining the game. The high safeties is not why the passing numbers are down.
Yeah,
Mel Kiper needs to stick to the draft and not worry about schemes. I'm just saying.
Pagano and Moore totally ripped Mad Mel.
And you know what? To be honest,
apart.
Eric, Mel Kiper gets more wrong than he gets right regarding the draft.
But this wasn't Mel Kiper.
Yeah, but yes, it was. Mel Kiper was on Get Up and was with the whole parody.
He said it on Get Up?
Yes. Mel Kiper.
I didn't see that part.
That's why McAfee was making fun of Mel Kiper with all that stuff today. That was a reaction to what was on in the morning. They were both trending today.
All right. I missed that part.
Yep. And no, I mean, most of the draft gurus get more of it wrong than they do right. The NFL GMs get more of them wrong than right. That's why the average career lasts 3 years, because these guys don't stick around long. But the thing that's annoying about Mel is Mel never has to build a team. All he has to do is go on there. He's got his grades. You either pick him where he has them or you don't. He gives your class a grade, then he's on to grading the next draft. A real NFL GM has to actually field this roster.
Derek.
Hey, Derek, don't forget, he has to criticize the picks as well.
Right. It's all TV. It's all for TV. It's all for he's not building a roster. He doesn't have to sit there and live with any of the consequences of the picks. And if they don't work out, well, that team screwed him up. Like Bryce Young, he said was going to be an elite prospect. Then he's on a couple days ago, he's bashing Carolina for how they mishandled Bryce Young, which they have, but that's a great position to be in. Well, I didn't get that pick wrong. That guy was good. The team screwed him up. And if the player ends up being good, then it's like, well, I had that right. I know this stuff.
Mel Kiper's
something.
Remember the old saying? Who the hell is Mel Kiper?
Yep. That Colts GM.
Someone had said either not Kiper, Pagano or Moore, that the players coming out today, especially quarterbacks that are failing, it's because they're not being prepared for the NFL.
Why would they be? I mean, if you're one of the elite college coaches, do you care how your quarterback does at the next level, or do you care if you win 11 games and win?
He's worried about winning at the college level, not worried about what's going to happen the next level.
Right.
And a lot of times too, they talk about, like, for instance, Bryce Young this year. They said they did Bryce Young wrong because, look, they don't practice enough. Bryce Young played what in the third game of the preseason?
For one series.
How's a guy supposed to develop if he doesn't have the training and the practice and all that underneath him to begin the regular season?
This is not 15 years ago where you played at least one half in the preseason. Now they play one series and they're done for the rest of the preseason, and that's in game 3.
I'm gonna call conspiracy on Carolina. I think they didn't play him in the preseason because they knew he'd fail early in the regular season, and they can pull him out of there.
Oh, so a nice setup for failure.
That sounds like a Dave Tepper move to me.
I mean, I don't know why you'd want to sabotage your first pick, though. I mean, they've got so much draft capital.
Because that's who Dave Tepper is.
Yeah.
I mean, he fired Frank Reich after 11 games. Give the man a chance to put something together.
What is it, 3 coaches in less than 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Steve Wilkes was doing a great job, and he fired him.
Right.
So at some point, we got to lay blame where it's due, and that's on the idiot that keeps making these moves.
Yeah.
Guys, I got to step away real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Wilkes, he had the room. He had command of the room when he was there in an interim basis. Yep.
Again, it seems like when they were on the verge of being successful, I think Dave Tepper just likes controversy, to be honest with you.
Well, he creates his own controversy.
He likes to be in the news for all the wrong reasons.
He's like Jerry Jones or
No. He ain't no Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones in a class of his own.
Yeah. Plus, at least Jerry Jones teams do win until it comes playoff time.
Yeah, exactly. And not only does Carolina win, they never see the playoffs. So, that's how that works.
But
anyway,
and Dan Snyder was the same way. Dan Snyder was the same way. He was getting involved and
Dan
not
Snyder
letting
was a
the football people
douchebag.
take care of the football.
Dan Snyder was an outright douchebag.
Well, the problem with your statement is you said was, like past tense.
Well, he is.
He still is.
Whatever he's doing in his life, he's still the same.
He still is.
He was in the NFL.
Now he just is in general.
Now he just is in general, correct.
I have to say, I'm impressed with the new ownership. They're taking it the right way to go.
They can only go in one direction.
Right. And they're doing the right thing.
Hey, when you live at the bottom, the only way up, the only option you got is going up.
Yep. Yep.
There ain't no going down from the basement.
All right, let's move on, guys. Baltimore at Dallas. That is going to be interesting.
Both teams.
Both teams have something to prove.
Both teams. No. Both teams have anything to prove. Both teams need to save their asses, is what it is. They're in a must-win situation. Okay. It ain't going to be funny if Baltimore goes on 0-3. And it's definitely not going to be funny in Dallas if they go down 1-2.
Well, I'll tell you what. Dallas is soft on defense. They're athletic and they're quick, but they can't
stop the run.
They lighten the pants. So Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson.
Did you see how many times the white shirts in Dallas were going backwards?
I'll take Baltimore. Yeah. I'll take Baltimore in this game.
Yeah, that's what Green Bay did to him in the playoff game. The Saints did the exact same thing, and I think Baltimore is a physical run team, and they should be able to manhandle them.
Well, I mean, are you concerned they lost? I mean, are you concerned about the loss against Las Vegas on Sunday?
I mean, it's not a good development. I mean, that's not a team they should be losing to. But I think I'm not concerned over the long haul because I think what the problem has been is they haven't been able to figure out how to use Henry, Hill, and Lamar Jackson together because right now what they're doing is if it's a running situation, they're bringing Henry out. If it's a passing situation, they're bringing Hill out. Yeah. And so it's kind of telegraphing to the defense what they're doing. And Lamar's rating is down from like 102 or 103 last year to 86 through the first two games. So he's not being as efficient. But I think that's a fixable problem if the Ravens kind of rethink how they do that. So this might be something where they start off slow trying to integrate that new piece of their offense, and they have that figured out later in the year.
I see Derrick Henry going into Dallas and making Dallas regret the fact that they didn't sign him.
That's what I see.
Derek,
I see him getting at least 20 touches.
Yeah. How do you feel about Green Bay's? I know you're a Green Bay fan, so how do you feel about their start? And what do you think of Malik Willis?
I don't think anything of Malik Willis. I hope he's back on the bench pretty quick because I mean he played good last week in the sense he didn't make any mistakes. I mean that's the difference between a quarterback like him and Will Levis. Will Levis is out there and can't manage the game. He's playing hero ball.
What the hell was it? He was horizontal to the ground and threw a freaking
Derek, I've renamed him. His name is Will Backhand Levitz.
I like it. But Malik Willis only threw the ball 14 times, and he completed 12 of the passes, got a touchdown. They only scored 16 points, but he managed that game, and that's what you need to
with the puke ball.
With the puke ball, yes.
With the puke ball, yes.
Yep. But I think the Packers are in good shape because it sounds like Love was practicing the last 2 days. He's got a knee brace. They don't need to bring him back for Tennessee. So even if they lose because Malik Willis doesn't do well, they're sitting at 1-2. But one of the losses is in the AFC, and they'll have Love back against Minnesota. And considering where things looked at the end of week one when when he hurt his knee and people thought he might be lost for the year. That's an okay place.
Well, it was really a blessing in disguise when we only had a sprained MCL and not a torn MCL.
Hey, Derek, you're also forgetting that this is the revenge tour for Malik Willis.
Malik Willis isn't good enough to have a revenge tour.
There ain't no tour. It's one game.
Right.
Did you see that quote he had? He goes, this isn't a revenge game. He goes, my paycheck cashed every time I was down there. They paid me every time they were supposed to. He goes, why would I do that?
I did see that. That was a great quote.
It was a great quote.
But in all seriousness, though, honestly, even though Love is back, he's practicing this, that, or the other, do you really think they ought to risk him on the field this Sunday against Tennessee?
No. There's no need for it. There's no need for it.
No, because the AFC games don't count in your tiebreakers, and so if you're going to lose games, the ones you want to lose are the team out of conference.
Yeah, lose to the other conference.
Yep, and I think Tennessee is a bad enough team that if Malik Willis goes in there and does what he did last week, he could succeed. The difference is going to be Indianapolis had the dumbest game plan I've ever seen because they do that cover 2, and that's fine if you're playing against a good quarterback, but why wouldn't you adjust your defense to stack the line of scrimmage against a team that you know is going to run the ball? And I think Green Bay had like 150 yards rushing in the first quarter. Like, what did you think they were going to do with Malik Willis in there? I mean,
they knew what was coming and got pie in the face anyway.
Well, I mean, that's what I always respected about Belichick is Belichick 1 week would play 1 down lineman and 6 linebackers, and the next week would be playing like a 5-2 scheme, depending on what the opponent's trying to do, and that's what you have to do. You have to play situational
Well, and that's why
football.
Belichick is probably the greatest coach ever in the NFL history.
Right.
So, I mean,
right. His scheme would change from game to game. He won a game passing the ball 3 times.
I mean, at one point in time, he was looking at the wind direction against the team.
Right.
That was posted online this week. I mean,
the Patriots played that. I think it was
against the Jets. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
He said, okay, this is where the wind is coming from. Their quarterback can't throw into the wind, so this is how you're going to cover their receivers. That's why Belichick is the greatest mind to ever hit the NFL. As much as I hate to admit it, because number one, I hate Bill Belichick, I hate Tom Brady, and I hate the Patriots. But it is what it is, you know.
Well,
Belichick's probably the greatest coach of all time.
Is there anyone in the world that you like?
Bernie Kosar.
It seems like you hate everybody.
Bernie Kosar. There was an inside the NFL.
Oh, you mean the coach that should have lost Coach of the Year last year?
No comment.
Yeah, that coach.
No comment.
Because they couldn't give it to the black guy?
Couldn't give it to Ryan D'Amico Ryan.
Why you got to make it racist? Why you got to make it racist?
I mean, it's the only obvious marker out there. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Stefanski didn't do anything extremely special. Okay. Whereas DJ Stroud came in, D'Amico Ryans came in.
Unit that was his quarterback.
Excuse me, D'Amico Ryans came in and took a team that wasn't even supposed to contend, won the division, and won a playoff game.
It wasn't fair though. He won with all of Cleveland's draft picks. That's not fair.
Derek, thank you for that humble
and make sure Houston sends him a thank you card.
Derek just gave me a reality check, and you are correct, sir. They won with all of Cleveland's draft picks. You are correct.
That's right.
Detroit,
Arizona.
Yeah, Detroit, Arizona. How well is Arizona playing right now? They're playing pretty good.
They are playing pretty good. They almost beat Buffalo. If Marvin Harrison Jr. had been wearing a Call of Duty outfit, Kyler Murray would have seen him and gotten that touchdown. But I mean, Murray had a perfect rating last week, and they destroyed the Rams after the Rams looked competitive against the Lions. So
their defense ain't half bad either.
Yeah, they were playing against all the Rams backups because all the Rams starters got hurt, and Stafford didn't really have anybody to throw to. Detroit, I'm a little worried about. I don't know what's going on with them. They were 1 for 7 in the red zone against Tampa, and they weren't really good in the red zone against Los Angeles. That's 2 straight games where they've kind of been a little iffy there, and they got to get that cleaned up.
You better.
Yeah, I mean,
you better cover your mouth because they might steal your analysis.
Yeah, if you've seen that Applebee's commercial,
Somebody might steal your analysis.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah.
that was a great, I mean, that Dan Campbell commercial is just freaking amazing. I love it. It's great. I mean, Kyler Murray, I mean, the dude spent all game last week avoiding getting tackled, and he escaped from 90% of the tackles that were coming his way. I mean, he's shorter. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, the dude isn't even 6 foot tall, and he's just making amazing plays. So, I mean, he finally got hooked.
You mean he's over 5 feet?
Jr. What?
You mean he's over 5 feet tall?
Yes, he is over 5 feet tall.
Okay.
Not my
Just
bunch.
barely.
He is over 5 feet tall. He finally hooked up with Marvin Harrison Jr., from the Ohio State University, and got hooked up with him.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Detroit, the struggles Detroit, I think, is having right now. You said 1 for 7 in the red zone. Laporta hasn't shown up yet. Okay, that was big for them last year. St. Brown had the one. Amon-Ra St. Brown had the one good game in
Didn't he get
first
hurt
week,
last weekend?
in the second week.
He did have an injury, yeah.
Did
He
St.
should
Brown?
play-
I thought St. Brown got hurt last week.
He should play this week. It
He's
wasn't-
going to
wasn't
play.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah. But and the running game, Gibbs hasn't been going off like he did.
Amir Gibbs? No, he hasn't.
No. So, and I think that gambling stuff that Campbell does, that comes to bite you in the ass eventually in certain situations.
Well, look at Philadelphia. I mean, you know, they did the Philadelphia analytics on Monday night and cost themselves a game with all the dumb stuff they were doing. There's a reason that the game should be played a certain way and you should make decisions a certain way. And when you try to kind of fly against that and justify it with analytics,
But you know what? I mean, Derek, we were talking about this earlier. To not run the ball in that situation as opposed to throwing it to Saquon out of the backfield.
And if you were going to throw it to him, give him some stickum.
Right. Well, but you know what? Saquon Barkley is not known for his catches out of the backfield. He has the most drops in the last few years than any other running back in the NFL.
But he gets thrown to as much as any running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Too. I think he had like 80
volume,
receptions
dude. It's
his
about the
rookie year.
volume.
Yeah, that's about the volume. I have no problem with throwing Saquon Barkley the ball, but I think the idea is it's you got to look at the situation. It's 3rd and 3.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley's an excellent running back. You gave him a huge contract to run the ball.
And
Jalen
he had
Hurts is
been
a good
running roughshod over that defense all night long.
Yeah, run the ball.
But here's the thing: if Barkley catches the ball, we're not questioning Kellen Moore.
Exactly. It's over. Yeah. But in that situation with, I don't know, there was less than 2 minutes to play in the game. For them not to give Barkley the ball to try at least get the first down yardage. If he doesn't make it, you've got the tush push. And again, they had been working all night long.
But you see, that's hindsight, dude. And hindsight.
Right, it is. You're right, Elliot. But still,
you know what I'm saying?
you got to look at the
They
situation
made the
overall.
right call. Barkley didn't execute.
Well,
That's
but
all it
still,
is to it.
you got to look at the situation.
That's all there is to it.
Sirianni should have called a running play as opposed to a pass play. in
Sirianni
that
doesn't
situation.
call the plays. Kellen Moore does.
So Sirianni calls the
He's-
plays. If Sirianni wanted a fullback dive 10 straight plays, they have to run 10 straight full. He can override any call that goes into that game.
And he can do that.
So
But if Kellen Moore made that call, he didn't make a wrong call because Barkley was wide open, ready to get a first down.
I think it was the
Barkley
wrong
didn't
call.
catch the ball.
I think even if he catches the ball, it's the wrong call.
Yeah, you're right. It was the wrong call. They should have ran the ball.
Even if they run the ball, and regardless if it's a tush push or if they kick the field goal, which they eventually
Takes
did,
time off
there
the
was
clock.
another 40 seconds off the clock that they could have ran off the clock because there were no timeouts left.
I
And
actually
that
would have
would've
had a problem if they would have thrown it to Barkley on 4th down if it would have been 4th and 3.
Right.
Because at that point, if it's incomplete, it stops the clock. You pin them back with bad field position,
Right.
and then they're probably
11-yard
playing
line.
the guy for a field goal. That's strategy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was discussed by the pundits too. In fact, if you run the ball on 3rd down and then try to pass on 4th down, it stops the clock. And it keeps Atlanta down deep in their own end zone, as far as
They
the
got to go
11-yard
89
line is
yards.
concerned.
They got to go 89 yards for
And
a
they got to go
touchdown.
89 yards with under a minute to play with
Well,
no
you know
timeout.
what? The way that Philly defense looks, they probably could have done it.
Yeah, they got shredded.
That's fair too.
Hot garbage.
What drives me nuts about the analytics, though, do you remember that game when Belichick, I think it was a 4th and 2, and they were on their own 29-yard line. They were playing the Colts, and they went for it, threw it to Welker, and he ended up being about 6 inches short. And then Peyton Manning went in there and scored the touchdown. Everyone was questioning, like, how do you go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 29? That's a calculated gamble. That makes sense to me because you're playing against Peyton Manning, Hall of Fame quarterback. And if they would have punted it to him, he probably goes down the field and scores there anyway.
Yep.
But the thing with the analytics is it doesn't make a distinction for Peyton Manning being the quarterback in that situation or Matt Castle being the quarterback in that situation. They always look at, well, you got to go for it here because this is what it says. It doesn't look at the opponent. It doesn't look at if you're in a 45-42 game versus a 13-9 game.
Right.
You're in a 13-9 game. Points are at a premium.
Yep.
Get your field goal. I mean, a field goal could be the difference in that game. Analytics don't look at that, and that's what frustrates me with the new analytics in football. It doesn't look at the score of the game. Doesn't look at the quality of the opponent you're playing.
Yeah, you're right. All right, moving on.
Hey, first of all, I'd like to label this the MASH 4077 game. The next one we're going to talk about.
Frisco and the Rams?
Yeah. Because Kittle has a hamstring issue going on now. Debo's out. McCaffrey's out. And then on the other side, no Kupp, no Nakua.
No offensive line.
I mean, this is going to be an interesting game. This is going to be one of those winning by attrition.
Yeah.
I contemplated getting tickets for this game to Levi South.
My goodness.
Well, SoFi's in your neighborhood, Wayne. So
that's why I call it Levi South because it will be 70-30.
Right.
It'll be 70-30 49ers fans to Rams fans.
That's right.
I mean, how sad.
You'll see more red on Sunday than you will see blue.
How sad is it that they built this brand new $1 billion stadium in, Los Angeles that's just on the east side of
$5 billion.
$5 billion. And there are no fans, and there's not enough fans to support either the Rams or the Chargers. And it's always going to be, especially if Vegas comes to town. Oh, there's going to be more fans for Vegas than there will be for the home team.
Yeah, but you know what? You could say the same thing about Vegas in Vegas. How many fans Raiders fans do they get in Vegas?
Yeah, that's more.
Vegas is a total transient.
Any team in Las Vegas is going to have transient fans. It's given. I mean, they got the A's coming over. They've already got the Vegas Golden Knights. They're talking about an NBA team in Vegas, and now they got the Raiders. And you know what? I've been to Vegas. It's all about not transients. It's all about
tourists.
It's tourists. It's tourism. It's tourists and gambling.
The only team, the Golden Knights are a home team. They have home ice advantage, and even though we're not really talking about them right now, the Las Vegas Aces have home.
Isn't Los Angeles kind of the same though? Tourists.
No, the Dodgers and the Lakers dominate this town.
Yes.
The Rams and the Chargers on the back page.
Yeah.
The Rams and the Chargers on the back page. It's the Dodgers and the Lakers. Well, I would say the Lakers, then the Dodgers, if you want to put it in that order.
What about the Clippers?
I'm sorry, who?
Okay, never mind. Sorry. What about the Angels? I'm sorry, who?
Brock Purdy is about to show what he's made of. That he's no damn game manager like everybody calls him. He's
a game manager, and that bothers the hell out of me. Every quarterback is a game manager.
He leads the league in pass yardage. 550 yards, I think he has.
I saw that comment. This is his chance to prove it, and it's like that isn't how that works. I mean, if you're a franchise quarterback, to me, what that means is like look at Drew Brees a few years ago when they're rebuilding the Saints. they take Kamara in the second round, Michael Thomas in the second round, Kamara in the third round, and they build an offense around that. That's what a franchise quarterback lets you do, is take draft picks that are not in the first round, assimilate them into your offense, and you build a dominant squad. It isn't that you take 3 starters off in the middle of the season and replace them with practice squad players, and they're still going to put up prime numbers. That's not the task. That's not how you determine that.
Right.
So I got to pick the Niners, of course, but
I mean, can the Rams afford to go 0-3?
hey, how does this sound? Stafford to the Dolphins.
No, that's not.
I don't know how the contracts work with that.
That's not going to happen. His contract is too big, and Tua is not out for the season. So
the only thing I can see them doing is getting
Okay,
Russell
Garoppolo to the
now Garoppolo, I can see.
Garoppolo, I could see, because that would be a cheap contract. Or if they wanted to trade for Russell Wilson, I could see that because they wouldn't be on the hook for much money because Denver's paying everything.
Yeah,
I mean, they got Wilson for a friggin' dime. I mean, his hit on the cap is non-existent pretty much.
No, they got
Right.
Wilson on Denver's dime.
Oh,
Right.
all right.
Stafford's contract is huge, and Tua just signed that contract, and they just signed Ramsey to a huge contract. I don't see how they juggle the salary cap with that.
Don't forget Waddle last year and the extension for Hill this year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on, guys. KC Atlanta. That's on NBC Sunday Night Football in Atlanta.
That could be an interesting game.
It could be.
I think that's going to be very interesting, to be quite honest with you.
Because of the loss of Pacheco in Kansas City.
Yep.
Well, and if the Chiefs were 0-2, I think we'd be talking a lot more about Kelsey having only 7 receptions on the year. I mean, Kelsey has not been very good those first couple of games.
Taylor Swift must be pissed off. He's not getting.
You mean Uncle Rico?
Right.
I bet Taylor's not happy. He's not getting the ball, so that's okay.
He is.
Until someone beats him,
2 of them at a time.
until someone beats him, I can't go against the Chiefs. I still think the Chiefs win this game.
Yeah, but
I think they'll probably win. I would take the Chiefs.
we're talking about this game. We're not talking about the season.
Right, because it's
This
AFC
game, I
versus
think.
NFC.
Look,
Right.
if they take momentum from what they did in Philly, home to Atlanta this week, if Cousins plays,
It makes it more interesting than not.
I think the gap closed a little bit because of Pacheco's injury. Who's going to run the ball now? Kareem Hunt? I don't think so.
They just signed him. Yeah, he might. I don't know.
No. The coach, Andy Reid, already said he's not getting spotlight anything for right now. So who's running the ball there? Carson Field?
Integrated and acclimated back to the system.
Well,
Samaje Perine?
the quarterback will probably get more rushing yards than any other running back on the team. Next, Patrick Mahomes probably.
And he hasn't been even able to get out of the pocket and run as much as he usually does.
Yeah,
Well,
they haven't looked right yet. I mean, which is a testament to them that they're 2-0 and played 2 pretty good teams. And
They're an ugly 2-0 as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, but they have a lot of injuries.
Because I believe the Bengals should have won that game on Sunday. They played so good.
Bengals had that game.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And then stupidity and the referee showed up, and that was the end of that.
There you go.
Jacksonville and Buffalo on ESPN Monday Night
Not
Football.
even a game.
Buffalo.
Buffalo's going to destroy
It's
them.
in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I mean,
We can move on.
yeah, and then finally the
Trevor Lawrence is starting to go into the range of mid as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah, he's not getting up there. I mean,
He's
he had
not
a couple-
that guy.
The Browns.
And I bet you what's his name
most
is
part.
laughing. I bet you what's his name is laughing. Who was the coach?
I'll give you a break. Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer.
See, it wasn't my fault.
Right.
He's really bringing up Urban Meyer. Seriously, is he really doing that?
He's probably sitting around going, "Hey, you guys, it wasn't my fault. This guy."
Urban Meyer's an idiot when it comes to the NFL game. I mean, he's
Probably-
an Ohio State Buckeye legend, but for the most part,
But he would have a crutch to lean on.
He has nothing to lean on. With
no, he's got nothing to lean on. Not even a blonde girl in a bar. No, he doesn't even have anything to lean on. I mean, he's going to be he's an Ohio State legend. However, it's just, I mean, I think Buffalo's too much for Jacksonville. They're going to go 0-3. Trevor Lawrence is a mediocre quarterback at best. This kid had so much potential coming out of college. I think it's going to take Doug Peterson another year or two to get him where he needs to be.
If Peterson's still there.
Yeah, right. Finally, we've got the Commanders and the Bengals in Cincinnati. I think this is going to be better than people think. I really do. The reason I say that, hang on, give me a second.
Don't forget, Washington won against a pretty mediocre Giants team with 7 field goals.
Yep, no touchdowns to be seen anywhere.
That's the first time in the history of the league a team scored
What
3
gives
touchdowns
you any
against teams
impression?
none and
What
lost.
gives you any impression that this is going to be a good sign?
Well, I mean, Jaden Daniels has impressed me. He really
You
has.
don't think Cincinnati's going to come out pissed on Monday
Oh,
night?
they're pissed. Oh, they are pissed.
Yeah, they're going to take it out on Washington. I just hope Jaden Daniels doesn't get hurt.
But hang on one second.
And if they get once they get T. Higgins back, I think the Bengals
Oh,
offense.
T. Higgins is holding out, I guess, or is he injured?
He's injured, hamstring.
Okay.
Yeah, he's injured.
Okay.
And if he was holding out, he has until the 8th game to decide if he's going to play or not. Otherwise, he gets no paycheck for the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, what's weird is, give me a second.
I'm sorry, but they can't continue with Trent Irwin and some guy named Yoshivas.
Yeah, I mean, what about Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase had a big time problem with the referees this past weekend.
Jamar Chase showed a very immature approach.
Agreed.
On the field,
and his contract situation is in his head. You know, he's still got 1 more year on his rookie deal. They really can't negotiate or redo his deal until next season.
Well, he's trying to get an early, hey, follow the rules, dude. Everybody else does.
What do you think about his contract situation, Derek?
Well, I think it's in his head. I agree with you. I mean, they could give him a contract right now because you're allowed to negotiate 1 year before it expires. That 5th year is an option, so he can sign a contract whenever he wants. But Mike Brown doesn't want to pay him. So
I mean, then you know what? That's normal for Mike Brown. Mike Brown is a freaking cheapskate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's not going to pay him any. But he's also not going to pay him any sooner than he has to.
Exactly.
That's the way I say. If I was an owner, I'd be like, "Look, dude, you need to wait till next year.
Wait until your 4th year or whatever it is expires.
Meantime, your current contract, you ain't starving.
And then we can pick up your option or extend your contract for the max. I mean, he's going to get paid. It's a matter of fact. It's a matter of he doesn't get paid this season because it's not pertinent and it's not conducive for the Bengals' long-term health.
And he kind of hurt his team the other day too.
And
with that
you know, and I mean, Burrow tried to stop him. He tried to prevent what happened, but it is what it is.
It's not Burrow's job to corral a guy who is an adult
out of control.
That should know better.
Right.
He acted like a 10-year-old.
He did. He acted like a petulant child.
Yes.
He said what he said. He should have just walked away because you know what? The last thing you're ever going to go get away with in the NFL is upstaging a referee.
Well, and the thing I don't get about these players is, they get scared that they're going to hurt their knee or hurt, suffer some sort of injury that's going to prevent them from getting paid. But they don't worry about being a head case and what that's showing to other teams around the league. And to me, if I'm an owner, I don't know of anybody that's immature that you're like, what's going to make them mature? Give them, $50 million a year. That'll make them
give more money.
mature. Give them more money. That won't make him a head case, but he's never made people a head case before.
You can't buy maturity. Sorry.
No.
Tell me how that worked out for Ocho Cinco and Terrell Owens in their careers. You know what I'm saying? It's just, come on.
Well, then look at Jordan Love and how he handled the situation this offseason. And he got his contract.
He was brilliant.
Yeah. He was an adult.
Brilliant. So, anyway, Derek, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to get the hell out of here. It's 8:15. We appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah, it was fun.
Feel free to jump in anytime you can, whether it be Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday. We always look forward to your commentary because despite the fact that Elliot claims he's a better fantasy player than you
I
are.
never said that. You're the one that keeps
No, you have said that. Come on now.
Come on, man.
But no, seriously, we love your insight. We love your commentary. And you're welcome to join us whenever you can.
I appreciate it. It worked out tonight, so I'm glad I was able to get in. And,
give our best to your spouse and your child. And
I have no children. You always keep.
He has furry children.
Dogs.
He has furry children, right?
All right, your fur children. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But give our best to your wife. And hopefully we see you Sunday. On that note, we're going to get the hell out of here. On behalf of my co-hosts, Mr. Elliot Big E Delamba, the producer, Wayne, the Professor Lynch, and of course, Mr. Derek Laughlin. I am the sports nerd, excuse me. And we are out. We'll see you, shut up. We'll see you Sunday night at 7:30 to recap week 3 in the NFL and look forward to Sunday night. Elliot, play the outro, please.
Oops.
Oops. There's no oops. No oops.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And since each night's start time is different, please check out our SNN group page on Facebook for the correct times. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Ken Costello, John Golson, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, may your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it can possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation, as the time has come to say, we are